Well, welcome to this episode of The Real Country File. Olly and I are here at the Arable event in Shropshire. It's a glorious day.
I know,
Everybody's been absolutely sweltering, and these Farmart hats have been going down a storm. But there's been plot trial demonstrations, machinery demonstrations, there's trade shows, and a whole range of really interesting guest speakers, of which Olly has been one. So what have you been speaking about today?
I think turbulent times is what they called it, and it was, the arable sector at the moment, we've got the IHT that's going on, which is really turbulent, shall we say, but if we sort that out and put that to one side, the economics of growing cereals in the UK at the moment aren't really adding up, and we kind of need to push a bit further with brand Britain and get more products that are exportable to give us new markets so that we can actually have a bit of a future, because at the moment, with the energy costs and the fertiliser costs and lots of hedgerows, we haven't got the economies of scale.
So many variables that are just dragging farmers down at the moment. So yeah, turbulent times indeed.
Definitely.
But we must say thank you very much, first of all, to Hawkins Drainage, who are sponsoring this episode. They are drainage contractors which cover a wide area across the Midlands and North West region, and Olly will be catching up with Ed later on in this episode. But first of all, we'll be over to a young man who's been utilising his mechanical skills in a bit of a scrap heap challenge to take a piece of machinery and turn it into something that is very different. So let's go and take a look.
So this is a track dumper that was originally a track dumper. Let's see, it's not anymore. And it was then converted to an apple harvester. So it had loads of extra hydraulics put on the machine. And then we've then bought it, and now we're converting it to try and harvest bulrushes by designing a conveyor belt system to move the bulrushes into potato boxes, and then also design a cutter bar header, which is still in prototype mode. So this elevator is a pinch elevator, which will take the bulrushes up and into the spud boxes. So this bit of kit was already on a harvester from when it was an apple harvester. So it's really gentle pinch elevator. So the idea is the bulrushes will be fed into the elevator, and it then pinches them and takes them up. And we can adjust the speeds, we can speed it up, slow it down, and we're hoping it will handle the high volumes of leaf, bulrush heads, stem, and not damage the actual bulrushes too much. On the original machine, there was a big hopper mounted back here, which was used for emptying the apples that it harvested. And just for simplicity, we wanted to get rid of that, and for weight saving too. So we took that off, and then I designed a flatbed on the back to fit 2 potato boxes. So we've got loads of options with this. It can all be removed and put back on, and then I started looking at how to fill the boxes. So we got this elevator, which was originally a cleaner off an old potato harvester, which was perfect size and weight. And then I thought I'll mount it up there and put it on a swivel, so we can swivel and fill one or the other boxes. So it's all fairly easy to control from the cab, and it means we don't have to mess around with trying to fill boxes and bulrushes going everywhere. So I designed it using an old trailer axle and an old ram, so it can completely swivel all the way out to this box and all the way up to the top of the cab, and then the bulrushes will then come up the elevator, the pinch elevator, fall onto this, and then this can then be emptied into a box, and it's all speed controlled, so we can also speed that up and slow it down. I've found this a really exciting opportunity to work on something very new, and there's not saying that it'll work, but fingers crossed we'll get there. There's a lot of work still to be done with the header, and there won't be a harvest this summer, but next summer there will be, so that should be its first outing, so keep tuned.
Interesting stuff, and we'll keep you informed how the bulrush harvest goes next year. Now over to Ollie with Ed Hawkins from Hawkins Drainage.
Right, we're obviously still at the arable event. This is Ed from Hawkins Drainage Systems.
Yeah.
I was going to say solutions. And we've got an array of things over here of some of the projects you've done. But just in brief, what's your sort of bread and butter at the moment?
So agricultural land drainage is what we specialise in. So field drainage schemes, you put new systems in and maintaining them, jetting them and fixing them. That's basically when the fields haven't got the crops on, and when they have got the crops on, we drop back on concreting and agricultural construction.
So I just saw this before. This is a GPS. So you've driven all over that field.
Yeah.
Got all the data points, so you know exactly what the depth of the hollows are, shall we say?
That's it. Yeah.
And then you'll then design a scheme off that.
Yeah, that's when we do a whole field. Most jobs don't need to do that, so detailed, but yeah, if we can cover a large area like that in half an hour or so on a quad bike.
And is there a perfect time of year to drain?
Whenever you can get hold of us. Yeah, it's sort of when the ground's dry and we're not sort of smearing the soil. Like now would be brilliant. We're just busting up the soil and not causing too much of a compaction issue.
That's the difficult thing, though, isn't it? Like the last few years, we've had such wet harvests. Getting that time that you can actually get on and repair that drain without making a mess is increased.
Well, we're geared up for it, so we've got gravel carts on tracks, so we don't have to go on the field with any tyres.
Yeah.
When we do go on the field with tired machines, they're wide tyres, so we can put the right machines to the right application and battle with the weather a little bit.
Is no job too small? I mean,
No. If you want to come out and rod a drain, we'll come and rod a drain. If you want us to come and drain 100 acre, we'll do it.
Yeah.
If it's, farmers always prioritise with us, and we try and work with the cropping. So we'll work with the farmer on whatever.
And where's base then?
Our base, we're between Shrewsbury and Wrexham, a little village called Penley.
And you'll go, say, an hour and a half.
In the van, yeah, something like that.
Area,
yeah. Most of our work seems to be out this way.
You'll
If
go
the right
to
job
Dubai.
comes, wherever, if the money's right, we'll travel. But the lads want to get home at night really if they can. Yeah.
Thanks for sponsoring this episode.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Now, if you're looking for any work or if you have any job vacancies that you want to promote, then head over to the Farmart magazine website. Job of the week this week is for a HGV livestock driver in the West Midlands. So if you're really good at loading or unloading livestock and you're looking for work, then head over to the website and see if that job is for you. Now, also each month with the Farmart magazine, we have reader events. And this month we were at a Wagyu beef farm in Shropshire. So let's go and take a look at that. Well, it's a beautiful evening here in rural Shropshire. We're at a beef farm which is run by the Wyndford Wagyu team. So we're going to have a look around the farm to have a look at the different stages that they have up to the finishing process, and then hopefully later on tonight we'll get to taste some of the end product.
So Wyndford Wagyu was established in 2018. As you can probably envisage, this used to be the site of a dairy herd if you didn't already know. So Wyndford Holsteins was in operation for about 60 years, grading up from pedigree Friesians to Holsteins. They had a fantastic pedigree herd here, and due to market pressures dispersed in I think 2017. Phil looked around at different breeds, what he wanted to do, and came across the Wagyu. He'd had a Wagyu steak in the US with his father a couple of years prior, thought it was brilliant, invested in some Wagyu from Germany. We got those registered with the Australian Wagyu Association and realised genetically they weren't that great. So he went back to the drawing board, And I think it was about 6 months or 6 weeks after dispersing, he'd got this idea that he was going to put embryos in. So we actually have capacity for a herd of 180 head of Holsteins here. So it started with embryos going in. We've got good relationships in the US, and we also have a herd of about 50 head of Wagyu in Minnesota in the US. So we have genetics here on the farm that aren't present in great quantities or at all throughout Europe. But first and foremost, we'll probably go down to our Holstein unit. You'll see some female Wagyu down there, and we'll just run through our embryo program, what we do, our expectations, how we, pros, cons, how we've benefited from it. And then we'll come back up here, which is our finishing unit, and you can see whether Wagyu meet your expectations or you think they look like a poor Angus. So we have capacity for about 180 Holsteins here on site. We're currently running below that. I think we've got about 60 head of Holsteins. We bring them in at about 9 to 11 months old. We used to source through a company that would buy them all in for us. We then went to working with individual dairy farms. We just liked the contact with the farmer ourselves to understand the conformation, the quality of the female that's coming through for us. They do a brilliant job. They're great cash flow for us. So we want to make sure that we're producing, especially with the history of the Holstein herd on the farm. We don't want to do a disservice by putting out pouring milk heifers at the end of our process.
Well, I say we carve on a carving mattress, which has worked brilliantly. Before that, we were on straw carving pens. It's just difficult cleaning off, getting ready for the next, whereas anybody can come and clean the mattress off, disinfect it, get it ready. So the mattress has been a great hit. So they come in here, so at 5 weeks prior to calving, they'll go onto the dry cow roll. All the sheds are on cameras, so we'll watch a Holstein sort of day and night. When one's literally got 2 feet showing, she's about to calve, we'll bring her through the little doorway there onto a carving mattress, let her settle and hopefully carve herself. Every calf that's born here,
if you're going to remember
I
that.
insist that, and especially the Harper student will roll his eyes when I say, have you said it? Every calf gets welcome to Wyndford Wagyu said to it, and it has to be stroked. And I say, especially young Tommy will roll his eyes and go, yes, I've done it, and I'm like, go and do it now. But that sets up the way we're going to treat that animal all through its life. We know it. Every calf's given a name, they've got the number, but they're given a name as well. So we know the animals by name through the system. We'll know whether they're a tricky calf or not, or without looking at records. So that's just our ethos. We're quite soft with the cattle, and we want to stay that way.
This is our finishing unit, so everything in here will be finished. So the cattle come in here, we're a little bit out of order, so if some look smaller as you go down the pens, it's because we need to have a good sort out. We sell the meat direct to consumer via an online shop, or we have wholesale agreements lined up. The hardest thing with the full blood market is getting the carcasses out there. The Japanese are fantastic storytellers. They're where Wagyu originated from. So they do a great job. The Australians are brilliant at marketing as well. But what we're producing here is, as good as the Australian stuff, if not, better at times. And, we've had carcasses go up to that A5 status as well. So we really are producing on par. We're very proud of our welfare, animal health, welfare. And we think that a British Wagyu, a British full-blood Wagyu product does have a very good market here in the UK. It's just building those sort of those areas to sell the carcasses out to. We carcass camera all our carcasses. So at 3 days post-slaughter, when the carcass has cooled down, we will go in So we'll cut in, we'll expose that ribeye. We will post our little camera through, which is a Google Pixel phone with the MIJ app on it. We'll take a picture and we'll send it immediately to Japan. Their algorithm will work through it, and then it'll send back a marble score, an eye muscle area, and an awful lot more information that I don't really understand. But we get all that back, which means we then market our carcasses based on the marble score. And they're very cheeky, very good temperance, very cheeky. And sometimes when it rains, you'll see them all flapping their tongues about. It's very, very odd the first time you see it. And their tongues are actually a massive delicacy, so they marble through their tongue as well.
Well, we've had a fascinating tour of all around the farmyard here tonight, so thank you so much to the team at Wyndford Wagyu. We've seen how intricate each stage is of the finishing process, and having seen these amazing animals, now we actually get to taste them. But I must say that you can buy the products from Wyndford Wagyu online, and the details are on screen now. So cheers. That beef at that farm was absolutely delicious, so do go onto the website and check it out yourself, because they are available to be bought online. So that's it for this episode, but before we go, we do need to just remind you of the next Farmart magazine reader walks. There's one coming up soon at Heaton House, just between Leek and Macclesfield, and then the following month we're actually going to Olly's farm to have a look round there.
Really?
So yes.
Have we got to tidy up?
Yeah, you have got to tidy up. Yes, yeah. We might just have to.
Have to bring Liv back.
We will. We'll have to get the full team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some biscuits.
So do sign up online. The details are on screen now for the Eventbrite page for that. I can't remember exactly what the date is, but it'll be on screen. So yeah, we'll get that sorted. Yeah. So once again, thank you very much to Hawkins Drainage for sponsoring this episode. And we'll see everybody
thanks
next
for watching, and we'll see you next time.